Good morning, everybody, and welcome to our webinar, Building the Warehouse of the Future with Crave InfoTech. Today, I'm joined by Daniel Dombach, Director of EMEA Industry Solutions at Zebra Technologies, Shrikant Mistane, Digital Transformation Architect at Crave InfoTech, and Oliver Ledyard, EMEA Business Development Manager for tablets at Zebra Technologies. So if you have any questions along the way today, if you can put those into the question box and we will endeavour to answer those at the end. This webinar is being recorded, so I will also share that as well afterwards. So just to go through the agenda, first of all, we will be looking at the warehouse challenge with Daniel Dombach, followed by the solution from Shrikant Mistane, and then a quick deep dive into why and when tablets from Oliver Ledyard, followed by your questions. So with that, I will pass over to Daniel.
Very good, thank you. Good morning, everybody. Greetings from very rainy Germany this morning. I'd like to set the scene for webinar today and give you a little bit of insights. First of all, who Zebra is, for those of you who are not too familiar with us, and give a little outlook where we see challenges and needs to improve the warehouse efficiency and the warehouse operations in the future. So next slide, please. So as you can see, Zebra is a very international company. Our global sales is north of $4 billion, and as you can see, we're heavily investing into research and development. So we're spending almost 2 times more money than any of our nearest competitors in the market, which obviously is resulting in lots of patents and lots of innovation that we're creating here. And you can see this number of 4,400 patents. I think it's up already a little bit again in the recent times. We're 7,500 employees globally, and we're operating in almost every country. Our business model is very much indirect, so we have a huge partner base, and all of our business is done with and through our partners all across the world. Next slide, please. So many of you might know us as a company that is manufacturing barcode printers, scanners, mobile ruggedized computers, tablets. A few of you may know that we're also very active in RFID as well. So we have a wealth of different products and technologies to really match every need for any kind of business that we're driving. The key focus areas for us are obviously retail, transportation logistics, manufacturing, and healthcare, which was one of the most growing things. I reside in an organization called Solution Sales within Zebra, and that indicates already that we're no more purely looking at developing more and better and smarter devices, but include them into more solutions. So adding sensor technologies, whether that's RFID or location solutions, is really, really important for us. Adding data platforms, software solutions, and various services, and of course supplies, plays an important role here. Let's have a little look at the dynamics in the market right now. I'm very sure all of you are shopping online these days, and that is creating quite a change in that industry, in that logistics industry. If you look at the large e-commerce companies, well, every day today for them is kind of pre-Christmas time. They have so much business to do. There's so many orders. They have to deliver so many products. It's absolutely amazing, and they need to match that need. You probably all know that warehouse work is very labor intensive. And what we're seeing here is that all of these companies are hiring lots of staff these days, and this staff needs to be educated and trained and onboarded. They need to be made familiar with all the processes. They need to really match the high demand, high turnover, and of course, everybody's expecting very rapid delivery these days. Well, let's face it, a couple of years ago, when you ordered something on a Monday morning, you were happy to receive it by the weekend. Well, thanks to Walmart and Amazon a couple of years ago, that has turned to 2 days delivery, and well, nowadays it's state of the art is next day delivery, if not same day delivery, which means that's quite a challenge for the operations in your business. So the throughput is going up, the demand of customers saying, I want the products faster and of course for free, in most of the cases, is a challenge. We need to have more workers. We need to have smarter technologies in their hands to really match that peak workload that we're experiencing these days. And by then, another challenge we're seeing these days is labor shortage. It's not so very easy in the market to find more and more and more workers. You might have seen in the news that some of these large retailers are hiring tens of thousands of new workers these days to really match that need and cover that complexity. So it's really important that you're really close to your end customer and that you have the entire visibility, which product is where and can I deliver it in time. Let's move to the next slide here. So Zebra has done, and please click once. Zebra has done a study, a warehouse mobility study, just exactly 1 year ago. And we were asking our customers, how do you see the business, the warehousing and logistics business in 2019, as I said last year, and how do you expect it to be in 5 years, and what are your plans here? And we can see that there is kind of different stages of maturity within our customers. Click once again, please. And we defined these 5 stages. And in stage 1 and 2, as you can see here, it's really operating in a warehouse with worker-driven transactions. So goods coming into the warehouse and somebody is using a scanner and is pulling the trigger and is reading the barcode, and then he's moving it forward, and then you're pulling another trigger and reading the barcode again. So there's not too much automation in these areas. So stage 1 and 2 is kind of opportunistically working with modern technology in the warehouse. Maybe in stage 2 you're adding wearables and voice to be a bit more efficient in your operations and really optimize the use of mobility. And if we click twice again, please. Now we're moving forward. We go into stage 3, 4, and 5, and we're no more just depending on what is the worker doing. We're trying to create an environment where you can use sensors, whether that's location or any Internet of Things, IoT sensors, any movements or RFID to really understand how is my warehouse working, how are my operations doing. And we're really trying to come to a world where we're looking into intelligent automation over time, which will mean there will be robots or cobots in the environment of warehouses, which will assist workers to perform the tasks and move forward. Can we click again, please? So what we're seeing right now, and click again once, today, this is 2019, we see that the majority of customers are still really in the early phases of modernizing the warehouse and adding smarter solutions into the warehouse. And this little spider diagram shows you that 30% are still in phase 1 and 32% are in phase 2. And we see a few early adopters moving forward, trying to optimize their operations. And if we click again, we will see the picture of 2024. And we see this will be moving, and we expect within 5 years, and that's what customers are telling us, that there will be much more automation in the warehouse, whether that is really intelligent automation using robots and cobots and droids and autonomous vehicles, or whether that is using smarter technology, maybe head-up displays, location solutions, and really operating with real-time guidance rather than worker-driven performance. All these data from the warehouse mobility study is of course available. If you would like to get a closer look of that, it's a huge document, and you can also have it as a presentation, 50 slides or so, with lots of insights, lots of different questions, understanding training cycles, understanding modernization of devices and so on. Please feel free to reach out to your Zebra associates if you want to get hold of that, or visit zebra.com to get hold of this document. And with that, I hand it over to my colleague to talk about the digital transformation. Thank you.
Good morning, good afternoon, and wherever you are, thank you. Thank you very much, Daniel. I appreciate that. Great insight. Always good to hear from experts like you, industry experts like you, and especially from Zebra. So I'm Shrikant Nistane. I'm a digital transformation architect at Crave InfoTech. Next slide, please. This is how I look like in case we bump into each other. So just a quick talk about Crave InfoTech. So Daniel spoke about all the technology. He talked about where we are going and how Zebra is helping customers or can help customers to meet the needs of the current situation. We, as an ISV, play a key role in helping Zebra and Zebra customers and also Zebra partners to meet that specific goal. We are the one who, I'll say, basically the oil which helps you to make those devices work efficiently. So we work very closely with three companies, SAP, Zebra, and Here Technology. SAP is the, we have several relationship with SAP, so does with the Zebra. Go next slide, please. Just to clarify, we are not a reseller in Europe. It's written there, just an old typo. We are only ISV. We have some relationship as a reseller in India. What we are passionate about. So we bring in together 5 things. SAP Intelligent Enterprise, so that's SAP ECC, SAP S4HANA, and any other SAP solutions like even business one. Cloud platform. So we all know SAP has launched a very good product which helps you to integrate, helps you to build new side-by-side extensions and also mobile services through the cloud platform. Our prepackaged solutions, and then Zebra RFID mobile computing technology, and now also location service, and finally geo enablement from Here Technology. So we basically bring all this together. On the right hand side you can see in warehouse management, enterprise asset management, field supply, field services, and supply chain. So we have different solutions in this area and we'll talk about them a little bit more later. Next slide, please. Our key partnerships, Zebra, HereMap, and SAP. We have been very closely working with Zebra. We were into the launch of a couple of products. So does HereMap. If you want to hear more, you can go to, you can just search by my name. You should be able to find a couple thought leadership videos. And these are, if you are SAP customer, then these are the, if you go to the SAP App Store, you'll find all of our applications listed. Next slide, please. What's the new SAP? As you know, this is the evolution of SAP. In 70s and 80s, it was R2, 90s, it was R3, 2005, there is a business suite, and then from 2015, SAP has launched, it's called Intelligent Enterprise, which is S4, and slew of other cloud solutions by design and success factor and so forth. And there are 420,000 customers who needs to move to S4 by 2025, 2027. So there is a lot of shift happening in the whole SAP industry, and there is a need for going to a newer solution with a newer user interface. And a lot of our customers are taking advantage of this big move and trying to see how they can utilize this to make a better experience for their own internal users and internal customers. Next slide, please. So opportunity in the warehouse automation. Technologies like SAP console, Tech console, ITS mobile, they are all phasing out. Windows mobile is basically phased out. 3G wireless technology is phasing out. Millennials are looking for simplified user interface. Customers are looking for mobilized EM and supply chain processes. So that's where we come into picture. Next slide, please. So this is one of our success story. The name of the organization is CommScope, 19 countries, 39 locations, and they were looking for meeting their goals to move from Windows to Android, and then they decided to take advantage of the current situation or the hardware refresh and wanted to bring in new face to their application. So that's where this is how the application looks like for them. They rolled it out on ET50, L10, TC8300, and scanners were 3678. They also rolled out Visibility IQ, and we did several things for them. So basically, we, along with the hardware partner, we were the one-stop shop that included developing the application, validations, creating the images, testing, and then deployment globally. So end to end. Next slide. This is another, this is a pharma life sciences customer. They are using preventive maintenance, facility maintenance, calibration, and warehouse application. This is how different hardware they are using. So ET50, L10, PD40 printers, very specialized printers on the shop floor where there is no connectivity in the pharma industry. TC8300, TC70X, and then Zebra printers for ZT230. And these are the different screenshots of the application. Next slide, please. So looking at, there are two things I would like to mention how we add value and help you for a quicker time to deploy. So first is the simplification of UI. We have seen green screen, black screen, blue screen, and now we will bring you from all of that to the responsive and device agnostic warehouse solution where onto the, and this is actually operating system agnostic too. If you have Windows devices, this will also work there also, no problem, because this can work on any platform, any screen. The important part is the same code base will help you to access this application on even on your desktop. So you don't have to worry about SAP transactions anymore. Same goes on to the mobile handheld, same goes on to the tablet, same goes on to the desktop. Next slide, please. That was simplification of UI. And another thing, we help you to simplify your architecture. If you look at starting from the left side, SAP console, Tech console, Web console, they all of them have middleware. Now this middleware adds latency, it adds a layer. You have to maintain different skill sets to manage the maintenance. ITS Mobile kind of resolve that issues in one way, but the user interface is still not there. It has limitations. It only works for the device or the form factor which is designed for, and that issue goes away with the Fiori Crave WMS application. It's device agnostic, it's form factor agnostic, it's operating system agnostic, and it's directly connected to SAP. So all of your logic is residing either into the SAP or into the mobile application, making it true real time and with better user interface. Next slide, please. This is how our application looks like. It's, as I mentioned, it's responsive. It also works onto the RFID. So if you have a need and you want to go to the next level from barcode, QR code to the RFID, the same application will work. And one more thing I would like to mention is all of our applications are Zebra validated. What does that mean? That means they are tested for memory leak, they are tested for battery usage, they are tested for integration, they are tested for user interface, and finally they are tested for the effective utilization of the Zebra APIs. It's called Zebra Mobile DNA. Next slide, please. So this application is ready to go. Just go through the animation. Yeah. So this application is ready to go as soon as you have the devices ready. You don't have to worry about whether this will work correctly on my mobile device or not. Next slide, please. So we, as I mentioned, we our applications are working with the location service and also with the RFID. Next slide, please. I spoke about Zebra DNA. So most of these Zebra DNA functionalities are integrated in our application. So data wedge, swipe assist. So what we do is we will work with you and identify scenarios where they may be needed. Example, simulscan. So if you have a need where you need to scan 4 barcodes, or you have a scenario where there are 4 barcodes but only 2 are required, and you don't want people to make mistakes, we can scan that whole block of 4 and only 2 will get picked up and they will go to the right field. So we can do that. Next slide, please. So our end goal is to have voice speaking with augmented reality. Voice speaking is already enabled in our application, and we are working towards augmented reality with Zebra. Next slide. Now let's talk a little bit quick about the enterprise asset management. EAM is another, so we talked about warehouse, and EAM is another area where we have a lot of presence into the industry. Next slide. Yeah, go through please. Go ahead. So this is the end-to-end flow for any industry for EAM. This covers oil and gas, utilities, manufacturing, you name it. And you will use some or the all part of this whole process. So it starts from scheduling, dispatch, geo-enablement, so that is tracking and map-based dispatch, planning workbench, so that's for the planners, approval. So based upon the different criteria and threshold, you will have notification and order approval process. Finally, mobile application and backend completion. Mobile applications, we have preventive, corrective, breakdown, facility, calibration. So we basically satisfy almost every need for the maintenance within your organization. And we have different templates for these different applications which can be used for a specific need. Next slide. So this talks about different applications, their features, and how they look like. So planning workbench is mainly meant for the planners, supervisors, managers. It has very nice look and feel, different KPIs. KPIs are available like MTTR, MTBF, and which helps them to make decision quicker, faster. It can be, should I replace the equipment? Should I service the equipment? Can I combine my preventive maintenance or the planned maintenance along with the corrective maintenance, and all that stuff they can do on the fly and move on. Next slide. Augmented reality, where we have combined augmented reality and also the chatbot, so you can get the information with your voice instructions. Next slide. This is about the asset inspection. So it can be utility industry, trust, electric, or anything which is where you are extremely asset intensive and you need to capture the details. So this application helps you 2 ways. One is you can take the geo coordinates so that you can build your repository, your database, and also find out the location of the assets. You can take pictures so that you know how these assets have progressed physically throughout the life cycle, and also you can capture the details. So you can use it for creating repository, and then afterwards for the maintaining the details about the status of this equipment periodically. So this is for both. It can capture location, capture lat long, and it is also barcode enabled. Very effective application. Next slide. So just talking about different applications. So we talked about asset management, we talked about supply chain. We have applications into the product cycle management area, application in the order to cash, connected assets, several management dashboard, HR, MDM, approval apps. So we have solutions into almost every business unit you might have. So end-to-end solution. Of course, some of them will go with Zebra, some of them will go with your corporate devices, but you can rely on us for solution for almost every need you might have. Next slide, please. This is just a different view of it based upon your physical location of your organization. So inside four walls, we have yard management, right? We have field service, vendor customer facing applications, and finally corporate application. Next slide. This slide basically aligns different Zebra hardware devices with our application, which devices fits in with which application. Next slide. Same, this is part of the remaining application mapping to the devices. Next slide. You can use this for your reference. These are a couple of quotes from our customers. They will be available. We were Pinnacle Award finalist for 2015 with SAP. We were also ACE Award winner in 2018. These are all both awards given by the SAP community. And we are very proud to have those and also be able to maintain the quality and the outcome of our services to the customers. Next slide. So this is a just to refresh on the left hand side who we partner with: SAP, Zebra, Amazon Web Service, Google, and here, and a sample of our customer list: utilities, water, power, gas, oil and gas, chemical and petrochemical, then mining, retail, companies like Siemens, high-tech manufacturing, Comscope, pharma, large corporations like Adani, where they have infrastructure, power, gas, utilities, port, agro manufacturing. So all of them uses different applications. Healthcare. So this is a sample of our customer base. This is a small sample. Next slide. So we basically have solutions. They go with cross industry. How do we work together? So if you have any challenge, please bring us any of your warehouse management or asset management related challenges. If you are a partner, bring us those deals. If you are a customer, we'll work with you and help you to make decision quicker and go through your digital transformation. This is my details, our organization details. You can reach us at contact@craveinfotech.com or shrikant@craveinfotech.com, and we'll be happy to work with you and help you to achieve your digital transformation goals. It can be hardware refresh, it can be software evolution, or it can be moving from old SAP to new SAP or any other. One more thing I want to mention is, of course, our applications are 100% integrated and ready to go with SAP, but they are developed using technology which helps us to integrate with other ERPs too. So we have worked with Oracle, we have worked with several other ERP applications for taking the benefit of this user interface onto the Zebra devices. Lauren, over to you.
Thanks, Shrikant. And yeah, hi everyone, morning and good afternoon, depending where you are. So my name is Oliver Ledyard, so I'm the EMEA BDM for our tablet proposition. And so it's really interesting hearing some of Crave's applications and actually for my own benefit, obviously, how a tablet can be utilized to deploy in that warehouse. Just move on to the next slide, Lorna. So the warehouse master has been really interesting for us actually over the last few years. So we're seeing more tablets being deployed in the warehouse as customers move to a more digitally connected warehouse environment. We've seen a number of customers still out there in the market utilizing a paper-based solution, but some moving from multiple devices going to a sole device to be utilized in that warehouse environment.
meaning they can save their hardware acquisition costs where they have to, and they don't have to show the support of that over a 3, 4, 5-year period. And it's fantastic to see, as I mentioned with Crave, that you can see it whether it's, and what Daniel mentioned around labour resources and optimising that, where it's not maybe fixed on a vehicle, depending on the supply and demand of that particular product, utilising the workforce in that warehouse, whether goods incoming, job processing, paperless picking. Something that we're going to move on to in a few slides is around forklift truck. So we see a number of customers now moving to a tablet solution for their forklift truck where they're maybe not utilising that forklift truck 24/7, so they can take that tablet out and utilise that for health and safety, use it for training, for management to look at stock inventory and things. So it really gives the customer more flexibility with the hardware they've got within their warehouse. Okay, let's move to the next slide. So this is what our tablet portfolio looks like. On the left-hand side is our ET5, so that's now on its second, well actually third generation. We've had those on the latest ET51, 56 available since the beginning of the year. Now they can come with an 8 or a 10-inch across both Windows and Android OS, with a host of different accessories, whether you need to have a rugged frame to increase the drop spec to 2 meters, there's docking options, there's scanning. And then actually what we saw was there was a slight gap in our portfolio where we were looking at that more rugged hardware with a larger screen size. So we acquired a company called Explore, who are a US-based company. They had some presence in Europe. We acquired them coming up to 2 years ago now, and that's really added a lot of depth and breadth into our tablet portfolio. Again, on that L10 product you see in the middle, there's 3 different form factors. You've got a standard tablet form factor, plus you've got with the X-Pad with integrated handle, and then you can have a bit more versatility with the X-Book and the keyboard. Now again, with this we can offer it with a Windows or Android operating system, and there are a host of different options of this as well, especially for that warehousing environment, whether you need to utilize an integrated scanner, whether you need to have RFID. We can have smart card reader on it if that's part of your security setup for your employees. And again, there's a host of different peripherals and docking, and that's a 10-inch device there. And also, in terms of price points, we can have a 500 nit screen through to 1,000 nit active digitizer. All have different cost structures, but if your budget is a little bit tighter, then we can look at a lower spec, smaller SSD, smaller memory, or we can, if your applications are very data hungry, and you need an i7 processor, you need to have 512 gig SSD, then we can offer that as well. So there's a huge amount of variety available on that L10 platform. And then you move to the right is our R12, so that's just over a 12-inch device. And again, we're seeing that docked within vehicles. Fantastic screen on it. We've seen a lot for field service as well, field and salespeople out in the meeting their customers. So really, we're covered from an 8-inch device through to a 12-inch, and supporting our smaller screen handhelds as well. So we can go into a customer and feel confident we've got something that would match your needs. Move on to the next slide. And again, and as I mentioned before, so obviously we've got our tablet portfolio, but we still offer our FLT solutions, which are still hugely popular. Now we are seeing some of that tablet space move into the fixed VC range, but actually there's still a huge market for fixed VC, especially where if your forklift trucks are going into freezer zones, they're going into and then going straight out into maybe humid environment. Now, the rugged tablets do have a great operating temperature, but the fixed VC has got a larger range to that. Okay, if the devices are being hosed down in the day, then we'd probably say go for a fixed VC. But again, there's benefits for looking at a tablet as well as benefits looking for a fixed VC. So it's really getting our account managers and our partners talking to you, talking around how you're looking at your forklift truck estate, what you need to look at prioritising, how often they're being utilised. Within a working day, are all your forklifts being used 24/7, or actually are some redundant in a warehouse and only be used 50% of the time, making the most of your hardware budget for the year. And then move on to the next slide. There are a host of different assets available, so this can be provided via our account managers, via our partners, but I'm available as well if you have any questions around our tablet portfolio, which is fairly new for Zebra. So it'd be really interesting to hear, maybe potentially you've got projects that are coming up that you're looking at a tablet hardware acquisition. I'll pass over to Lorna now.
So thank you very much for those insights off the team. So I'd just like to bring to your attention that we have created a whole suite of different assets in light of the current pandemic situation that we are faced in. All of these documents listed here are available on zebra.com, and we have created products, brochures and guides specifically around the rugged tablet range, which you can see there. Just to make you all aware that Zebra has very, very good stock availability at the moment, so all of our products, whether that's printers, scanners, zip ship supplies, are all available through distribution and through the reseller network. So if I can just very, very quickly have your attention just to run a very quick poll, which hopefully you will see on screen shortly. This, let me just check. So if we could just find out if any of you out there would like someone to contact you to discuss an opportunity. And we can get someone to give you a call back after this webinar based on what you put into this poll now. Okay, still a bit of movement. Brilliant. Okay, thank you all very much for that. So we don't actually have any questions in the question box at the moment. So I would just thank you very much for your time today. If you do have any questions that come to you as we move on, then please do not hesitate to get in contact with us. But thank you. Goodbye.